I'm Kevin, and I'm a failure. Yes, thank you. And through the next 20 minutes, I want to convince you that you are a failure too, and that it's actually a good thing. Now, like many of you, I am passionate about helping people upgrade the way they work, to totally change, because the way we work right now is stupid. Pandemic failure, and it is rampant. This is the kind of failure that we just tolerate. It's everywhere, but we don't do anything about. And this is the kind, I think, that is the most dangerous kind of failure that we have to face right now. There's a second kind of failure called catastrophic failure, and you can kind of guess what that is. Some examples of that could be the Titanic, but more recently, we have Borders Books, BlackBerry, and Netflix. And it doesn't have to be complete meltdown. It's just, it's harmful in an emotional, economic, or physical way. And it can be small, it can be big, but they're catastrophic failures that we really don't recover from very well. And there's a third type of failure. That third type of failure is called intrinsic failure. And intrinsic means being a part of. And so this is the type of failure that we do all the time. Just because we're human beings, we do intrinsic failure constantly. When we have failure, it is largely based off of the trust we receive. The intrinsic failure especially. If we have high trust, then we allow more failure to happen in those around us. So take, for example, a small child, 1-year-old. He or she starts to learn to walk. Can you imagine to get down and then say, "Oh, you failure? Get back up, come on, you slacker." You can't say that to someone who is, a little child who is trying to learn to walk. You encourage them, say, "Good job, keep going, get up again, you can do it." Somehow as we get older, we lose that, and we no longer say, "Get back up again." We look at them and say, "You purposely did that. You're trying to sabotage me, aren't you?" Instead, when we have high trust, those around us fail more, which is kind of counterintuitive, but it's okay, intrinsically fail more. And then when that happens, we allow them to learn, which is so very important. Now, the buzzword these days is innovation. And through all of this, if we have high trust, we can have high intrinsic failure. If we have high intrinsic failure, we have high learning. From high learning comes high innovation. And from high innovation comes progress as well. However, if we flip that around and we don't have as much trust, and we can see these in a lot of the organizations that we work with, if we don't have a lot of trust, the failure is going to come down. Employees are going to say, "I'm stuck right in this mode right here, and I'm not going to deviate from that because I just might fail and I might get my hand slapped." So they tunnel in this vision right here. But when they do that, they don't learn as much. And then they don't innovate as much. And then we can't progress as much. They progress along this line when the market goes this way, and then we have this big gap, and we wonder why we're not able to keep up with the market. Number one, do not let failure define who you are. That is very, very important. Do not let failure define your work either. And you'll notice that in some of your companies, that people will say, "Oh, look, you failed. This isn't going to work." You can't do that. Number two, the quote, "Failure is not an option," is not true. Failure is an unavoidable option. And what really matters is what kind of failure we make it become in the end.